It is time for action to begin in 2024. Manufacturers' Cup then. Here is the first grid of the 2024 Gran Turismo World Series. Starting on pole position on home soil at the Autodromo de Interlagos, it is Igor Fraga. Takuma Sasaki joins him on the front row of the grid with Guy Barbara in the AMG Mercedes third. Next up is former Nations Cup champion Valerio Gallo. It's an all-American third row with Robbie Heck for Mazda spearheading that, just ahead of Dean Helt in the Genesis. Genesis fresh off the back of their podium last year in the World Finals. Callum Roach lines up 7th with Alonso Regalado in the Ferrari 458. Italia in 8th position. Angela Nestroza, new challenge for him with the Subaru this year. Not working out so far, down in 9th place on the grid. Donovan Parker rounding up the top 10. Nicholas Iriagada is in 11th in the Audi R8. And then Adriano Carrazza boxed his qualifying lap in the Toyota Supra, giving himself a lot of work to do. Now, Jimmy, I'll first look at the tyres here, and we can see the top 5, I should say, starting on the softs.
Yeah, unsurprising, really. If you're Igor Fraga at the head of this field, you want to try and get away as soon as possible. The worst possible thing on these opening laps is to get involved in a fight and lose time. That's how tight the margins are in these races. Towards the back of the field, of course, it's interesting to see it go down as far as 6th to 12th on that hard compounder tyre. So we're going to have 2 groups at the start of this race. Let's see how it pans out over the course of 30 laps.
Yeah, really keen to see what Adriano Carrazza can do. You wonder whether he may have just gone, for the soft tyre to go and get those on in the early stages, but he's decided to go for the hard, decided to go for the same strategy as everybody else around him, and let's see what he'll be able to do and what kind of progress he'll be able to make up in the field. His best hope, I'm sure, is to try and get himself to the head of the hard compound runners up into 6th place. Anyway, let's stop talking, let's start racing. We're ready to go then. 2024 Gran Turismo World Series is underway here in Montreal as we go green at the Autodromo de Interlagos. Igor Fraga leads the field across the timing line down in towards the centre S. Sasaki in 2nd, Barbara in 3rd place. No moves being made courtesy of the rolling start, spreading.
It's there, Carrazza up into P11. On board now with Valerio Gallo for Team Honda. Great view here of the train in front. Now you're on, it's the first lap now, just about trying to get into that rhythm as soon as possible. So any sort of weakness right now will just be magnified tenfold with the fact that the cars are all so close together. Coming now down to the last big break of the course. And now it's just all about horsepower up the hill here. Now Gallo's out, Fraga is out front. He'll be giving a tow to Sasaki, Barbara and Gallo, who we are on board with now. Let's see what these cars are like in a straight line.
So, on board we ride here then with Gallo as we come to the timing line. He's closing up to the back of Barbara. Barbara in turn is not too far away from Takuma Sasaki. Sasaki is very handy in the straight line in that Porsche. Obviously Gallo going for a lunge to the inside when he closes up under braking. Carrazza in at the end of
From the way these guys are driving.
Just having a look there, Alonso Regalado picking up a warning for bump drafting. That means he's sort of pushing Caleb Roach along in 6th position, and the stewards don't like that sort of thing. Also, further back, I'm looking at the gap that Carrazza had. It was 9 seconds a couple of laps ago. It's now down to 6 seconds. He, of course, is on a quicker compound tyre. He's lapping some 2 seconds faster as Gallo has a half look to the outside there of Sasaki into the first corner. But keep an eye out for that gap with Carrazza and Arriagada at the moment. That'll be crucial coming into the latter stages of the race because he's still got to run that hard compound tyre. My bet is he'll try and do 2 stints now. That's where he's done the hard compound tyre. He did that on the first lap, but he's got to try and make up that deficit because he's doing an extra pit stop. So we'll see how it's all going to work out. Let's have a look here further back. This is Dean Helt. We're on board here with Donovan Parker. He just has a little bit of contact there with Angela Nestroza as they go side by side down the start-finish straight. Parker's got the outside line. He's got track position down into T1. He goes up into 8th place. And there's a great nose-to-tail battle going on the fringe of the top 10. And this is all for those important points.
Yeah, as mentioned before, we've sort of got two groups running that will come back together when these strategies all converge towards the end of the race. To give you some idea of how that soft tyre is comparing to the hard tyre right now, Karatsa has gained about 4 seconds on the car in front since he pitted on that alternative strategy. Karatsa down in 12th place between Toyota right now. Meanwhile, go back to the action now. Probably Heck at the moment, the person we were on board with, just ahead of us right now with Guy Barbara. Heck has the fastest lap of anyone in that Mazda, so there is speed in that Mazda, it seems. It's not quite over the course of one lap, but all 5 cars still within about a second and a half of each other. So this race is anyone's at this point. Fraga doing, as you said before, a really great job of just sort of driving them around and keeping them there. Meanwhile, Sasaki happens to go defensive from Gallo. Gallo looking around the outside now in the NSX. Can he make this stick? Trying the long way around to be on the inside, though, for this right-hander. It's getting very tight as we go through here. Now Sasaki has the alternative line on the inside and just about stays ahead for now. Look at the gap that's given Fraga instantly.
The problem with Sasaki is he's tighter onto the left-hander. It's compromised his run down this Retro Foster. He goes for the defensive line, but Gallo's going to pull to the outside here. Sasaki moving over in the braking zone. The stewards are not going to like the look of that. Parks in on the apex of the corner. Again, this is going to compromise his run. Gallo pulls to the inside there as he challenges for second. As we come down into the right-hander, Sasaki's going to have track position here. Is he going to muscle out Gallo as Gallo tries to firm it around the outside in the Honda NSX? Surely Gallo's not going to be able to make this stick, and indeed he can't. Sasaki parks the car on the apex, tries to get the over and under, switching back on the inside. This is fantastic racing between these two drivers, and Sasaki defending. Gallo tries to send it to the inside, but Sasaki is still there, ready and waiting. And all the while they're doing this, Fraga's clearing off out in front.
That was some amazing racing there between Porsche and Honda. Sasaki and Gallo respectively, just showing that you can go wheel to wheel and not have contact. I mean, take note of that, F1, at some point if you want to. So, going up the hill now to come on to lap 7 of this race here at Interlagos. And Gallo's going to have another look. He's now desperate to get by. He knows he is faster at this stage. Here we are again, back in the draft, back in the slipstream, down towards T1. When he go outside again, he's trying the outside line. Once again, I don't think he's quite as close as he was. He's going to try and cut back in. I think what he's trying to do is just put Sasaki off his line a little bit through his complex and get a better run coming down the second straight here, but not quite as close as before. But as you said, all that going on, all those overtake opportunities, means that Igor Fraga has now got a little bit of breathing room out front.
Keep an eye out for Guy Barber and Robbie Heck in the background as well. We can talk from a two-way to a potential four-way fight here as well as they come through the left-hander. That's the trophy these drivers all want to lay their hands on at the end of the season. Just a reminder of the competition format. We've got 12 drivers here. We'll have another new 12 drivers going into Prague later on this year, and then for Tokyo, likewise the same thing. All 3 of those drivers for that specific manufacturer will come together as a team of 3, and then we'll have the grand finals taking place later on this season. As we see Iriagada there just picking up a warning for colliding with another car. Fraga, 1.3 seconds. The gap has kind of stabilised out in front. Karatsa, meanwhile, right at the back of the field. He's closed right up to within half a second of Donovan Parker, courtesy of those soft tyres.
That's actually a bit of a disaster for Karatsa, because now he's back where he started, trying to get through the cars on the slower compounded tyres, but burning his soft tyre at the same time. Saying that, he goes up into P11. So we'll keep an eye on Karatsa down in P11.
2 seconds faster per lap though is Karatsa at the moment, so you imagine he's going to try and make easy work of those drivers in front. But the thing is, like you say, you've still got to run a slower lap time because you're working your way through traffic.
It just depends where you catch him. If you get him on the corner exit, lovely. But if you're trying to catch him for the middle sector where everyone is on one line, you're just wasting the life of that soft compounder tyre, and it can really
through the left-hander. It looks like he made a mistake the corner before us. He got himself all out of shape, ran it onto the curb there into the left, and that allowed Guy Barbara to go through, as he said thanks very much, and got up onto the podium.
I think he's heating those rear tyres up a little bit, Tom. Now, we mentioned that a bit earlier on. He just seems like he's having real trouble getting the traction down in that Mazda. Let's watch him again through here. Let's see how he manages the exit this time. We get a nice view from Sasaki there, who actually I think is the biggest victim of all of these guys, choosing to box a couple laps later. Now he's stuck here. He's stuck about 4-5 seconds off the lead, where before he was fighting for it. Now right into the toe again. right into the slipstream, looking around. What's that Porsche like in a straight line? Not quite quick enough to pull alongside. Will we see a late dive? Both of them moving in the braking zone there. Sasaki looking up the inside. Will Heck defend? He's got by him there. Heck now has the inside line. Will he drive him to the curb? No, straight around the outside goes Sasaki. That was a confident move, Tom.
Love that from Takuma Sasaki, and he needs to do that because he can see his chance of victory slipping through his fingers. He wants to get onto the podium, wants to get those points back as well, does Takuma Sasaki. 4 points awarded for third place, 3 points awarded for fourth place, and that can be critical at the end of the season. Inestrosa off the hard tyres, finally for him, goes on to the soft compound of tyres. Where's he going to emerge? There's Dean Helt just to his right hand side in the Genesis. Helt, of course, on an alternative strategy, so will it give Inestrosa a little bit of clear air if he's able to get himself ahead of the Genesis driver? That would be the best case scenario for the Chilean.
I think honestly for Super and Inestrosa, this race could have gone a bit better for those guys so far. They've been caught up in a lot of battles. The pace hasn't been that good on the hard compound tyres. It's going to really take a lot to catch these guys in the front. The pace in the front now is fantastic. A 30.2 last lap from Gallo, 30.4 last lap from Igor Fraga, faster than anyone else in the field at the moment. And I've got a feeling we're going to have a showdown here very soon between these two titans, Lexus and Honda. Fraga and Gallo as we come on now to lap 17 of 30. We're in the tow on board with Valerio Gallo, who actually interestingly pulls out of the tow there. Now why would he do that?
I wonder if he's just trying to keep his powder dry for now, just not wanting to show his cars too soon. Sure, he can go for a lunge on the inside, but he could also cost himself a lot more than he's set to gain there. Just saw a snap of oversteer mid-corner for the Honda driver, so he's certainly pushing on. He's not like he's driving well within his limits, but yeah, I just wonder if he's just waiting for the right opportunity to strike later in the race, maybe.
Yeah, he lost a chunk of time there, about half a second there to Fraga through T1, so that just shows you one mistake cost you quite a bit of time here.
Takuma Sasaki there needs a little bit of a booster cushion, doesn't he? You can barely see the steering wheel from that manual at the moment.
As a fellow short king, don't be calling it out like that, alright? Don't be calling it out.
To be fair, I was waiting for you to make a reference. That was only a matter of time, wasn't it? Takuma Sasaki then right in the wheel tracks here of Guy Bar.
Of course, the man that can do both, fast in sim, fast in real life. Again, coming back to this battle between Sasaki and Gallo, I don't know, I think they've started to really cost themselves. The gap now between Gallo and Fraga up to nearly 14 seconds. I think Fraga's got the time to basically pit whenever he likes at this point, but I'm not sure that calculation is correct.
It's a bold strategy, isn't it, running on those hard tyres for as long as they have done, but I don't think, as you say, it's going to be one that's going to be working out particularly that well. I don't think Robbie Heck's podium is for sure as well. He's in second position at the moment, but he's 6.8 seconds up the road from these two drivers, so plenty of time for things left to change. If these two start knocking 7 bells out of one another, that might be music to the ears of the American, but for now, he sits in a net second place, but I imagine it's going to be off the podium once it's all been said and done. So, Gallo, we ride on board with Sasaki once again, closes up under braking. You've got a Honda versus a Porsche then. Mid-engine versus mid-engine. Down the start-finish straight we go once more. 3 laps left to run here at the Autodromo de Interlagos. Gallo once again defending from Sasaki. Sasaki pulling to the outside. Is he going to use the straight line speed? Is he going to make a move? Gallo moves over as we come back into the braking zone. Sasaki not going ahead and not moving up ahead of the Honda driver.
That's the closest he's been coming out of there. I don't know why he didn't go for the move there. I just feel at this point he's being held up and they can be quicker if Sasaki led the train. But the thing is, we're moving in now to the last couple of laps. They're not thinking about working together anymore. They're thinking about position. Igor Fraga out front seemingly untouchable at the moment, but he's still yet to take his final pit stop. He's going to have to pit on the next lap. So we'll see if that is enough. The big thing to me is, has Robbie Heck done enough to stay ahead of Gallo and Sasaki for Team Mazda? That would be an amazing result for Team Mazda.
It'd be great. I don't think it's going to happen, personally. I'm sorry to not share your enjoying optimism there, Jimmy, but it's a long shot for Robbie Heck at the moment, I'll be honest. But stranger things have happened. We know how quickly the circumstances can change in the GT World Series. Here, though, is Igor Fraga. 8 seconds the advantage he's got over Robbie Heck. He's got a further 7 seconds over Valerio Gallo. We've got 2 laps left to run at the end of this one. When is the Brazilian going to come in to the pit lane? Will it be the end of this lap or will it be next time around? Next time around, I think. Yeah, looks like that.
Collected there. Igor Fraga doesn't look like he's breaking a sweat. Just another day of the races for Fraga in Team Lexus. 8 seconds the gap between now him and Robbie Heck. And 15 seconds to gap between him and Valerio Gallo in P3. Let's run on board for a bit longer with Igor Fraga, seeing how a master practices his craft. We now go down through this second straight here. Important to get a good exit out of there, and they'll lay on the brakes, breaking the concrete on the right hand side, then all concrete path and through the next sector. Now Gallo and Sasaki, part what you say it was, Tom? Part
yeah, it's about 4,024 now.
Still going.
I know they've got magnets onto one another. They've been so close to each other for this number of laps. Great racing between the two, great respect. But yeah, frustrating for Takuma Sasaki, I am sure, because Gallo doing a good job in that Honda to hold on to third place. He was buoyant, full of confidence coming into this weekend. Was Gallo said that he reckons the Honda has got the pace finally to fight at the front, and a podium in their first event of the season, at the GT World Series events at least, will be a very welcome result for Valerio Gallo if he can pull it off. But at the moment he's still got Sasaki breathing down his neck. Now is the time we're going to see Igor Fraga coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap. He's got to come in and run at least one lap on the hard compound of tyre, and I'm fairly sure he's done enough to hold on to his race lead. Such is the pace of this final stint, or second but final stint I should say, in this race.
There comes Igor Fraga, our leader, into the pit lane now. Onto that hard compound tyre he will go. Has he done enough to retain the lead of this race? So a hard set of the Michelin slick tyres are being bolted on now to the Lexus. Keep like Robbie Heck having to come in as well to take the hard tyre for himself. Watch the gap, watch the mini-map as well. It looks like Igor Fraga has done absolutely plenty. Here comes Gallo and Sasaki. They are nowhere near Igor Fraga, who's done a magnificent job on his stint there to stay ahead of these two. But now it's going to be a fist fight between Gallo and Sasaki for second place. There is Igor Fraga getting up to speed now, but not quite close enough. So last lap then for Igor Fraga. Gallo and Sasaki behind the gap, 2.4 seconds, a bit less than I thought it was, to be honest. And Robbie Heck unfortunately not able to stay out ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, not working at all out there for Robbie Heck, but now it is do or die time here for Takuma Sasaki in the Porsche. He has got to make this move stick on Valerio Gallo, but is he close enough? Gallo, we know he's a master of defensive driving, and he's doing enough at the moment. Sasaki has a look to the inside, into the right-hander, but the door is very firmly shut by Valerio Gallo. Half a lap left to run here in the Manufacturers' Cup Grand Final at Montreal. Igor Fraga, here comes Sasaki for the move on the inside against Valerio Gallo. It's a late lunge, and Gallo sweeps it back up and holds firm for second place. One more opportunity left for Sasaki under braking. Gallo's on the inside line, he's got track position. It'll be a drag to the line between these two. It's all about the exit out of this corner, but what a superlative drive it is from Igor Fraga and his home circuit in Interlagos. He comes to the timing line to win the Manufacturers' Cup Grand Final in World Series 1 for Lexus. It's a run to the line for second, and Gallo gets it by just a few hundredths of a second from Takuma Sasaki. Absolutely fantastic racing here in Montreal.
That was a masterclass from Igor Fraga and Team Lexus. And as you said, Tom, he just knows how to win the race from the front. Took it easy, took it in his own pace through that first stint there, and when he had to get the hammer down, he went. Fastest lap for Fraga, pole position, the win as well. Clean sweep for Fraga and Team Lexus, and Sasaki there, I think maybe brewing a couple of mistakes. I think that could have quite easily gone to Porsche that race as well if the strategy had been different. Great to see Gallo going over there as well and congratulating Fraga on the victory. Again, I don't understand why we saw the hard tyre so early from Gallo, but now it came close at the end. But amazing race from this man, you can't take anything away. That is how you do it here at Gran Turismo.
Superb job from Igor Fraga then to take his first